Now it is recording. Okay, right. So now we are going to start Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so first of all, tell me what is a presentation. So the presentation is a visual aid to speaker or presenter to explain some matter to large audience interactively, right? So the presentation is a visual aid to speaker or presenter to explain some matter to large audience interactively, right? So by applying presentations, then we can discuss something interactively to the audience. So the several equipments and several form of materials can use doing a presentation. When we are going to deliver a presentation, we can use several equipments and several form of materials, right? So there are two different types of presentations. So the first one is manual presentation and the second one is electronic presentation. So under the manual presentation, we can say the presenter may not use electronic or electrical device for his presentation. But when it comes to the electronic presentation, the presenter uses electronic or electrical device for his presentation. Then when it comes to the presentation materials, so the electronic presentation materials provide guidelines to the presenter for his presentation. And there are several features of a good presentation material, right? So the first one is clarity or clear, and then simplicity and readability, time manage, right? So you can manage the time and time manage, and after that understandability and also reusability. That means reusable, right? So I'll tell you what is reusable later. And so when it comes to the time manageability, so that is really important, right? Because when we are going to create a presentation, the first one is clarity or clear. That means our presentation should be a clear and concise one, right? So that means simplicity, right? So it should be simple. And then readability means uh, the that means we can say it as readability means anyone should be able to read your presentation, right? So for that you need to use good font, and that means clear font, and as well as the size of the font you need to think about that, and the color of the font, right? So such kind of thing you need to such kind of things you need to consider when you are going to create a presentation, right? So then you can improve the readability. So time manageability. So the time manageability means when you are going to deliver a presentation, maybe your Viva or something like that. So you need to manage your time. So you need to allocate some pre-planned time slots for each and every slides. Otherwise, you will not be able to complete your presentation within a given time, right? So if you are having a 5 minutes to present, then so you need to think about each and every slide. So how should I explain these things within 5 minutes, right? So then you need to think about that when you are going to use electronic presentations. So those are the features of a good presentation material, right? So and understandability, so it comes with actually readability, simplicity and clarity, right? So all these things, if you can achieve all these things, then the final outcome is understandability. So then everyone can understand what you are going to convey, right? So the message you are going to convey can easily understand if you have achieved clarity, simplicity, and also readability, right? So then reusability, so that is also an important feature when you are come up with a good presentation material. Okay, then the next part, design considerations. So when designing a presentation, you need to determine the number of slides for the presentation, and one slide should carry information relevant to a one topic, and slides must continue in correct order, and determine the type of the media using in the presentation, right? So different types of media we are having. So for an example, text, graphics, animation, color, audio, and video. So those are the different media content types that we can use with these electronic presentations, right? So you need to determine type of media using in the presentation, right? So, and we can discuss more detail about how you can manage these kind of different media content types inside your presentation. So these things are really important. So when you are going to deal with text, so when you include some text inside your slide, so then try to follow these guidelines. So minimize the number of text lines in a slide, right? So when you are going to include some text content inside a slide, so always try to minimize the number of text lines inside a slide, and you need to use simple words, right? So you need to use simple words, and select suitable font types and the font sizes which are easy to read. And some of the fonts you have seen, so those fonts are really difficult to read. So for an example, if you have created your presentation with all capital letters, right? So then most probably it's really difficult to read. So that is about font types, right? So that means when you are going to use a particular font, we have different fonts, right? So Times New Roman and Arial, we have different font types. So you need to use suitable font types, and also you need to consider the size of the font also. And the next thing, select the relevant text color for relevant background. So if you are using a dark background, then you need to use light colors for fonts, right? So otherwise the fonts cannot be seen, right? So previously I told you, when you are going to create a presentation, if you apply all the letters as capital letters, that is also really difficult to read, right? So that is another aspect. So when you are going to deal with text, you need to think about that, and some of the templates you have seen, and when you apply those templates to your presentation, and then you can see all the letters as capital letters, right? So actually when you consider the title and the content of the slides and everything, you can see with capital letters, and those things are really difficult to read. So that is also another aspect when you are going to deal with text, right? So here the select suitable font types and font sizes are different stories. So font types means the type of the font may be Arial or Times New Roman, and the size means different sizes, in fonts, right? So like 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, likewise, right? So we have different sizes, and when you are going to create a presentation and when you are going to apply some text content inside your slides, so then you need to think about these things. Okay, now the next thing is graphic. So images and graphics will add clarity to the information or the content on the slide which you are going to explain, right? So try to consider the following when you include graphics into a presentation. So graphics must be matched to the content that you are going to explain, right? So your graphics must be matched to the content that you are going to explain. And the next thing, the background of the audience, right? So when you are going to apply some graphics to your presentation, then you need to think about the audience, background of the audience, right? And age group of the audience. For an example, children prefer to see more graphics, right? So always, in children prefer more graphics than elders, right? So they always like to see some beautiful images and some of the colors. So when you are going to create a presentation for children, and then you need to, it's better to apply more graphics, right? So then animation. So using animation, you can change the text inside a slide, right? So using animation, you can change the text inside a slide. And I'll show you those things later, right? So, and you need another assignment with PowerPoint also. And before that, and I'll give you hands-on experience inside the lab, right? So, and before that, and I'll tell you how you need to do these things in this class also. So, the next thing, you can create animation. You can create animation using text, pictures, or both, right? So when you are going to create an animation, we can add text. That means we can apply an animation to a text, and also for pictures, and also we can combine text and pictures, and we can apply some animations, right? And the next thing, slide with animation will be more understandable for the audience, and the presenter will find easy to explain. For an example, suppose if I need to explain something, and I remember when I was grade 11, I think you also had that one, four-stroke engine for science. So uh, I have created the four-stroke engine animation by using PowerPoint, right? So that is the recent memory about the PowerPoint animation that I have created, right? So in order to explain how the four-stroke engine works, that means fuel injection, and how uh, the engine works, then I can explain all these things by applying some animations with the basic shapes, and also we can apply, and I think I have applied some text animations also for more clearance. So likewise, you can explain something to the audience by using animations. So that is really easy for presenter to explain something, right? So next thing, colors. So when you select the colors for your presentation, try to consider the following features, right? So the first one is age group of your audience. You can use multiple colors for kids, but not for the professional presentations. When you are going to create a professional presentation, right? So you need to apply uh, just that means like theme, right? So everything should be in a same theme, right? So if you apply gray color, then you need to go with that gray color. If you are going to apply white color with some shade, so then you need to go, you need to deal with entire presentation with that color as a theme. So that is the professional rule for presentation. So you cannot apply different fancy colors to your presentation, right? So when you are going to create a presentation for a professional use, then you need to think about how you need to apply colors, right? So you need to go with a same color, right? So there may be some variations you can apply, but you have nowhere to break the initial theme, right? So when you are going to create a presentation, you need to think about these things. And the next thing, type of the content in the presentation, right? So for an example, dark background for light text, right? So that is the type of the content in the presentation. So then you need to think about how you need to apply colors. So the dark, if you are having a dark background, then you need to use light colors for text. These things are very basic things, but if you don't know these things, then your presentation uh, will not a good one, right? Because these things are really important. But even if you are going to apply, even if you are going to create a presentation with multiple colors without knowing these things, then the professional members know this person don't know uh, how to create a good presentation, and this is wrong, right? So when you are going to present a particular audience in front of a particular audience, so and then you need to use these professional rules, right? So when you are going to create a presentation, you need to think about the colors, you need to think about the font size and the type of the font and the background of the presentation, the theme you are going to use with the presentation. Everything you need to think about, right? So you need to think about those things. Okay, then I think if you are not having any questions, if you have a question, you can ask, right? So I'll give you time for that also. Now you can ask. Any questions? No, right? So if you are having a question, you can ask. I think no. Now, you can use audio and video for your presentation. So, and it gives more meaning and value to your presentation, right? And we can keep the audience happy. So, reading lengthy text and kind of things are really annoying things for the people, and people always like to see some interactive things like videos, and would like to hear some sounds, right? So then it's better to apply uh, some video or audio content to your presentation, right? So it gives more meaning to your presentation, and it adds some value to your presentation. So, but these clips should be uh, small. That means take less play time, right? So when you have, if you have created presentation, and your the entire duration of the presentation, if the entire duration of the presentation becomes 10 minutes, and if you have inserted a video with 8 minutes, so that is not a good thing, right? So your the video or audio that you are going to use with this presentation should take less play time, right? So you need to think about that, and then it should match with the presentation, right? So now, presentation application packages, and before moving to the presentation application packages with different vendors, So I think now you know how to create a presentation, how to apply colors, and all the professional rules that you need to apply when you are going to create a presentation, right? Is it okay? Tell me. Right, and when you are going to create a presentation, you should apply those things, and I also check that you have applied those things or not, right? Okay, right, thank you. So now, presentation application packages. When it comes to the presentation application packages, you can see there are different vendors. Vendors means software application package providers. For an example, Microsoft provide Microsoft PowerPoint, and Apple provide Keynote, and LibreOffice provide Impress, right? So different presentation application packages we can see, right? So, and we have one more, and I'll tell you. So, and online presentation tools also there. So we can use Google Slides and Prezi and LinkedIn SlideShare, right? So I advise you to not to use Prezi when you are going to create a professional level presentation. Have you ever used Prezi? Any student? Tell me if you have used that software. No, no. So the praise is if you use that software, you may think, oh, that's really nice, and there is no such presentation application tool like that. So that is really amazing, and that is really beautiful, and it has attractive animation and slide transition effects. But the problem is they are just like not professional, and the professional ones are also available. That means you can apply some fade effects or something like that by using Prezi also. Prezi also contains some professional slide transition effects and animation effects. But basically, when you create a presentation with Prezi, you can see different advanced transition effects like Adobe After Effects. So if you have seen uh, virtual camera effects, and sometimes in some music videos, you if you have seen, you can see some videos on walls, right? So different videos you can see uh, on actually they have laid on a broken wall like that, and the camera will go to a particular video, and then you can see that one after 3 seconds or 5 seconds, camera move to the another area of the same wall, and then you can see uh, another video like it is similar to uh, if you focus your mobile phone camera to a newspaper, right? So then you can see different frames, right? So because the newspaper is a huge paper, and once you place your mobile phone camera, you can see a particular area, and then you can move your mobile phone camera either left side or right side or bottom or top, then you can see another area of the newspaper, right? uh, Likewise, in Prezi, they have different advanced transitional effects, and they are really beautiful. And but in professional use, I never seen a person who are using Prezi for professional usage, right? So for professional works, you can use Microsoft PowerPoint. And LinkedIn slide share, that means another online tool that you can use to share your slides, right? So then the community, that means the other people can use your content, right? Now, next thing, advantages of computer-based presentation. So easy preparation of slides. So we can easily prepare our slides, right? So the slide preparation is really easy when you are going to create a presentation. That means when you are going to use computer-based presentation. So the slide preparation is easy and easy to maintain the standard format, right? So you can maintain a standard format and we can apply animations, right? So we can apply animations and multimedia features can also be embedded. That means if you need to explain something with a video which is on YouTube, so then you can embed that video into your presentation. So we called that as multimedia features that can be used to embed something uh, from other resources like internet. So next thing, easy to publish on World Wide Web. So we can publish our presentation easily on the World Wide Web, right? So for an example, we can once we have created our presentation, we can upload that presentation to SlideShare, linked in SlideShare. Then others also can view your presentation and also they also can download your presentation if you have given permission for that. And facility to add additional notes, and we can add some additional notes by using if you are using a computer based presentation, and I will tell you how you can add those additional notes, right? So I have a demonstration slide set, and then once I come to that one, then I will tell you, right? So then Microsoft Office package, and I have told these things before also. It contains Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, Publisher, and Access, right? So you know these things, and we discussed these things earlier also, right? Now, Office package, you know, Microsoft Word. So that is a fully featured word processing program for Microsoft Windows and also Mac operating system. And Microsoft Excel, you know, we used this Microsoft Excel uh, before, right? So the spreadsheet program, so that is a spreadsheet program, and that features calculation and graphic tools and pivot tables and macro programming. So they can deal with so many numerical calculations. And when it comes to the Microsoft PowerPoint, so it's a presentation program for Windows and Mac operating system, right? And tell me, I think you know, in basically in the world, we have three types of operating systems, right? So the one is Windows operating system, and the second one is Mac operating system. That is means Apple's operating system. And what is the next one? What is the next one? And I have one answer. So what's that? Linux. Yes. So, and I'm asking another interesting question, right? So, can we install Microsoft Office package, that means Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, inside Linux? Can't. So the default answer is can't. That's true. No problem. That's true. But if we try, we can install Microsoft Office package inside the Linux computers also, right? So that is really good improvement of the Linux users, because the Linux users are really advanced users, right? So they use different things. Uh, so then most of the time they also need Office package, because once we install Linux and switching to another operating system is really difficult. So, right. So when we are doing, for an example, if I need to do a research, so, and if I think about the performance of the computer, then I can switch to the Linux. And after that, while I am doing my research, then I have to switch to the Windows computer to report the outputs, right? So that means I need to create a particular report now. So then I have to use again Windows computer, or then I have to use dual boot system in the same computer, or something like that. I have to do, because if the Linux operating system does not support for Office package, right? So by default, it does not support, but we can install, right? So the usual answer is can't, or we cannot install Windows based applications on Linux. But nowadays we have different ways that we can use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint on Linux environment also, right? So you search on Google and then you can find, and I really interest to do some research about those areas. Okay, and Outlook also, the Outlook is a email program for Windows and Mac operating systems, and uh, Microsoft OneNote. So it's a note-taking program, and it's available for Windows and Mac operating system, and also iOS also. Or we can use OneNote, right? So then Microsoft Publisher. So that is a desktop publishing program for Windows operating system, right? So just like CorelDRAW, right? So we can do some desktop publishing stuff by using Microsoft Publisher, right? So then actually that is similar to Word, but the Word means, so that is for documenting purpose. But if you consider, if you need to create a poster or something like that, so then you can use either CorelDRAW or Publisher, right? So the CorelDRAW is more professional, but Publisher is also a kind of application that we can use for desktop publishing, right? So, and Microsoft Access, so that is the database management solution for Windows operating systems, right? Now, introduction to Microsoft PowerPoint. So Microsoft PowerPoint is a presentation program, you already know that one. And it was released on April, right? So 20 April 1987, right? So 20th April 1987, and that is not really important. And you don't need to worry about the uh, persons that the persons they have invented, right? So you don't need to worry about that one. So, and initially, so it is only for Macintosh, right? So initially it's only for Macintosh operating system based computers, right? So that means the PowerPoint came initially only for Apple computers, and after that there were some modifications, and then we can use that one on Windows computers also. So used to present data and information using text, diagrams, animations, images, and transitional effects. So that is the brief history about Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So then, so this is the interface of the Microsoft PowerPoint, right? And now we are going to moving forward with different terminologies that we can see inside Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So here uh, you can see this is file tab, right? So this is the file tab, and this is the home tab. This one is home tab, and this is insert tab, and this is design tab, right? So we have multiple tabs here, right? So if you consider this red box, you can see that is a group, right? And you can see the name of the group is slides, and so this group is font. So they are group names, and inside this group you can see different commands, group of commands. So if you consider this home tab, inside this home tab, then you can see slides group. Inside the slide group, you can see multiple commands. The first one is new slide, and then the layout, reset, section, right? Likewise, we have different commands inside a particular group, right? So just I only consider this home tab and this slides group, and the same design you can see for other tabs also, right? And here you can see quick access toolbar. So this one, quick access toolbar, so it gives one click access to the essential features like save, undo, redo, likewise, right? And the next one is, this is the title bar. This one is title bar, and it displays the name of the active PowerPoint presentation. So here you can see the presentation one, that is the name of the presentation. And this is the ribbon. Entire thing is we called as ribbon, right? This one. Then you can see the control buttons, right? So minimize, uh, and the close and the restore down, right? So 3 buttons. So the next one, I discussed file tab and everything, right? So this is the slide area, this one, and so this is the slide, right? So this is the slide tab, and this is show number of slides. So in here you can see it shows number of slides and the location of the active slide, right? So you can see slide 2 of 9. That means the selected slide is 2, and total number of slides are 9, right? So then you can see here notes, show notes. When you click on this note button, you can, if there are any notes available, then you can see those notes when you click on that. And here you can see comments also the same thing. You can if there are any comments, then it can be seen under the comments. And here you can see view buttons. You can see 3 view buttons, right? So later we can discuss these 3 buttons in detail. And so this is the show slide button. So once you click on this button, then your PowerPoint presentation is switched to the run mode or show mode, right? So like this. And you can see there are 2 buttons that you can use to control the zoom, right? So this minus says zoom out, and this plus button you can use to zoom in, right? And so those are the things that you need to familiar when you are going to use Microsoft PowerPoint, right? Now basic parts of PowerPoint, and you can see all the things that I have discussed with you. So the first one is quick access toolbar. So it's a collection of buttons that provide one-click access to commonly used commands such as save, undo, redo. And title bar, so a bar that displays name of the active presentation. I told you those things, right? So then control buttons, so collection of buttons that control minimizing, restore downing, and closing the window, right? So then ribbon, so ribbon display option, that means this allows to auto hide ribbon or show only the tabs or show both tabs and commands. I'll show you that one again, right here. This button, right, ribbon display option, you can once you click on this button you can see different options, right? So now I cannot click on that button because now I am in the presentation mode, right? So then I can't see those buttons and other stuffs, right? Then that is about ribbon display option. And then basic parts in now we are going to continue with the basic parts. So scroll bar, now you know by using scroll bar you can scroll horizontally and vertically, right? So by scrolling this can move first slide to the last slide of the presentation once you scroll, right? So I'll show you. You can see here once you use this scroll bar you can go from first slide to the last slide. While you are scrolling you can see the slides are moving, right? Then tabs, so the tabs means each and every tab contains set of commands related to a tab name, right? So for an example, home tab, so inside the home tab I'll show you again a home tab. So here this is the home tab, and under the home tab you can see different group of commands, right? So based on the similarity Microsoft groups uh, all the commands, right? So if you consider the slides group, so it contains new slide command, layout command, reset, and the section. And if you consider this font group, you can see all the commands that we need to use with the fonts can be seen, right? So that is for group font group. And similarly you can see here all the commands that we can use for paragraph, that means line indentation, bullets and numbering, spacing, and everything have included here, right? So you can see uh, they have been included inside this paragraph group. Okay, then so that is about tabs. And status bar, and it shows the messages and information about the view, right? So status bar, I'll show you here, this one, right? So now you can't see anything, right? But once you are going to use Microsoft PowerPoint you can see actually you can see some information about the view, right? So but yeah, now I can't see because I have switched to the presentation view, right? So otherwise you all can see. And the next one is view buttons. So collection of buttons that we can use. Here you can see normal view, slide sorter view, and reading view, and we can discuss those buttons later, right? So view buttons, and so I will show you. Here you can see those view buttons, right? So it contains normal, slide sorter, and reading view. So what is the normal one? Normal one is this one, right? Yes, my mouse, this one, right? Normal. Then slide sorter and reading. You can see this book, right? So that means that is the reading mode, right? Reading view. And now, and zoom controls, and I told you how you can use zoom controls. So you can use for magnifying and shrinking the uh, current slide, right? So that means we can zoom in and zoom out in simple words. Now here, if you consider the PowerPoint ribbon, right? So what you can see here, the Microsoft PowerPoint ribbon is a row of tabs and icons at the top of the PowerPoint window that allows you to quickly find, understand, and use commands to completing a certain task. Here, so this area, this red area, you can see, right? So this entire area with tabs, we called as ribbon, right? So that is a ribbon, right? So here you can see this is the title bar, right? So this is the title bar, and it displays the title. That means the name of the active document or the active presentation. And this area is a quick access toolbar, this one, right? So quick access toolbar, and it gives one click access to essential commands such as save, undo, redo. And here you can see another help button, right? So you can use this one for in order to get help. That means you can use to get some information about the commands or some other thing that you don't know. You can find by using this tell me assistant, right? You can use that one. Then get started with PowerPoint. So when you open PowerPoint for the first time, the start screen will appear, right? So there will be able to create new presentation, or you can choose template, or you can use recently edited presentation. You can access that presentation also. Under the recent, you can see the presentation that you have edited recently, and once you click on that, you can edit, you can continue your work, or you can switch to the new presentation, right? So once you click on create new presentation, so then you can create a new presentation, or you can use a template. That means the predefined templates are available. Once you click on that template, you can use that template for your work. Or once you uh, click on the recent presentations, so then you can see your recent presentations. Then you can click on that presentation, and then you can edit that presentation, right? So those are the three things that you can see once you are going to open Microsoft PowerPoint. So from the start screen, in this case, so select the blank presentation to access the PowerPoint interface, right? So now let's see. So this is the screen you can see, right? And under the recent, you can't say anything here because no recent work. And here you can see this is the blank presentation. Once you click on this one, you can see the PowerPoint screen with all the commands, tabs, and everything is there. And here you can see these are the templates that you can use, right? So if you read, you can use these templates also. Now, once you click on the blank presentation, then you can see this interface, right? So this interface, and usually it contains only a single slide. And it contains two text areas, and the first text area says click to add title. If you need to add a title to your presentation, then you need to click on that. Click to add title, that means this area, and then you can type your title of the presentation. And if you need a subtitle also, then you can click on this bottom text box, right? So click to add subtitle. So you need to click on this area, and then you can add your subtitle also. But if you don't need a subtitle, then you can leave it as it is. You don't need to do anything, right? So I'll show you those things. So I'm going to open PowerPoint. Now, so this is how you can see my PowerPoint screen. So it says good afternoon based on the time and location of this computer. And here you can see blank presentation, right? And there are some predefined templates also there, but I am not going to use those things. And here you can see my recent presentations that I have worked before, right? So those presentations are also available, but I'm not going to use those presentations now. Here you can see home tab, right? So, and home button, not the tab. And also you can see this new button, right? So under the new button, you can see blank presentation or different presentation templates, right? And also you can see this open button. So then you can if, for an example, your presentation inside is inside on your pen drive, right? So then you can click on this browse button, and then you can locate the presentation that you need to edit. If it is not available under the reason, then you can manually locate and then click open, right? So that is open, and if you need a new presentation, you can click on this new one, or simply you can use the same options in the home screen also. So now I am going to create a presentation, blank presentations. For that, I am going to click on this new presentation button, right? So then you can see this screen with a single slide, and here I need to enter my title, right? So I'm going to enter my title here. Right. So now I have typed my title, and if I need, I can give a subtitle also, but I don't need subtitle. I don't need a subtitle. So now I am going to show my presentation. I'm going to click on this show button, slideshow button, right? So now you can see this kind of view, right? So because it has only one slide, so therefore you can see only this slide, right? So if you need more slides, so then you need to add those slides, and we can discuss those things with the coming slides, right? I'm not going to save these things. I'm going to click on this don't save button. Okay, so I discussed about file tab. Now, so the PowerPoint uses tabbed ribbon system instead of traditional menus, yes. And the ribbon contains multiple tabs, each with several group of commands, right? So for example, the font group on the home tab contains commands for formatting text, right? So here you can see home ribbon. Under the home ribbon you can see this type of different groups, right? So slide group, font group, you can see different groups, right? So these groups are under the home tab, right? So you can see when you click on the home tab, you can see these groups. Is it okay? Now, next thing, the main component of the PowerPoint presentation is slide, right? So without talking about slides, actually there is no way to talk about Microsoft PowerPoint. So when you choose to create a blank presentation, so PowerPoint will open a presentation with title slide, right? So you saw previously when you are going to create a presentation, and if you click on the blank presentation, then Microsoft PowerPoint will open a presentation with only a title slide, right? So you can see a single slide, and that slide is a title slide, right? So once the title slide is open, you will see slide with two placeholders. So I have shown you that one. So the first one is text box, actually the first placeholder box for the title, and the second placeholder box for the subtitle, right? So then click inside the placeholder box and type your title. I have shown these things, right? So if you want a subtitle, click on the subtitle text box and you can add your subtitle also. If you don't need a subtitle, then you can leave it as it is. Now, adding a new slide. Now we are going to add a new slide to our presentation, right? So to add a new slide, make sure you are on the home tab. You need to go to the home tab before adding a new slide. The new slide button will add slides to your presentation, right? So now here you can see two things. The new slide button has two types. First one, clicking on the top part of the button, right? So when you click on the top part of the button, and it will automatically insert a new slide, and clicking on the bottom will give you a selection of layouts, right? So you have you can see different layouts, then you can select a layout that you need to use, right? So now let's see how you can insert a slide to your presentation. So I have created a demonstration presentation here, and it contains different things, right? So here now I can get a new presentation also, but okay. So I'm going to open PowerPoint again. I'll show you all the things in a clear presentation. Now see, right? So here you can see only the title slide, right? So here, and now if I need a new slide, so then what I need to do here, I need to click on this new slide button, right? So I'm going to click on that. Now you can see I can add more slides, but here you can see this little arrow, right? So once you click on that, you can see different templates or the prototypes of the slide. The first one is title slide, this one, and the second one is title and content. You can place both the title and a content, right? So here you can see a section header, right? So if inside your presentation, if there are multiple sections, then you can use this section header, right? So if you need to show two things in the same screen, so you can use this two content option, two content layout. And if you need to compare something, so then you can use comparison layout, right? So that is little bit advanced than the two content, so you can do some comparisons. And if you need a slide with only a title, then you can use title only slide layout, right? Or if you need a blank slide, so then you can use this blank layout option. And here you can see content with caption, right? So suppose if you need to describe something related to a particular uh, thing, that means for an example, if you need to discuss about a quote, that means about a quote means uh, something written by another person, right? So with double quotes you can apply those things here. And then you can discuss the real meaning of the thing that you have written inside this big box, right? So this kind of things you can do by using this content with caption, right? So there are content here, right? So you can see some content here, and then you can use some of the caption here, right? So then picture with caption, right? So here you can use picture with caption. So this is a little bit actually this is a variation of this content with caption, right? So both are a little bit similar. So you can use a picture and then you can add also a caption, right? So those are the different layouts that you can use with Microsoft PowerPoint. So you should have a basic idea about which type of layout you need to use based on the scenario. Okay, then uh, the next thing, so slide layouts, I discussed these things, right? So I'm not going to discuss again. So just read these things, right? So there are several standard slide layouts to choose from uh, when you are creating your presentation. So when the layout gallery opens, you can click on the style that you want to use, right? So and once you click on that, you can see the appearance of the current layout has been changed to the new one, right? So each layout caption describes the layout type. Content can be text, tables, charts, graphics, pictures, everything, right? Next one. Now slide layout. So if you decide to, if you decide later the layout need to be changed, right? So then you can change the layout. The first thing you need to select the slide that you need to change, right? So I'll show you this one. Suppose I need to change the layout of the slide. The first thing I need to select the slide and then go to layout here, right? So you can change with this new layout, right? So now you can see. So my slide layout has been changed to the new one, right? So likewise, you can change the layout of the slide. Okay. These things are really easy things, right? So, but I need to discuss these things also because this is a complete course. So sometimes you may know these things, but anyhow, these things you should learn, right? If you don't know. Next one. So now duplicate selected slides. So if you need to duplicate a particular slide, so then you can click on the duplicate slide option, which is available under the new slide button, right? So then you can duplicate your slides, right? So I'll show you that one. So if I switch to my demonstration presentation, this one, suppose this one is A, right? So because now you can see the difference, right? So otherwise you can't see, no. Now you can see this slide contains letter A, and if I need to duplicate this slide, I can go to insert. No, I can click on this home tab, and then I can go to this new slide option, and here you can see slide duplicate slide, right? So duplicate selected slide, right? Now you can see I have duplicated the first slide. Now the second slide also the same thing, you can see like the first slide. So you can duplicate slides, right? So then you can save your time. If the same content you need and with some changes, then you can easily duplicate the slide and then you can edit that one. Now reuse slides. So how to reuse slides? So this one is really important, and you may not familiar with this feature. Reuse slides. So on the new slide menu, below the gallery, right? So click this, click the reuse slides to open reuse slides pane, and right side of the screen you can see all the available slides from a different presentation, right? So I will show you how you can use reuse slide option, right? So in the browse dialog box, you can see here, this is the browse dialog box, and you can click on this browse button, and then you can select whatever the presentation you need to reuse inside this presentation, right? So then once you select the presentation, you can see all the available slides here. Then what you need to do here, you need to click on this particular slides, then it will be uh, added to the current presentation, right? So now let's see how you can use that one. Suppose I'm going to use that option here, right? So this is my demonstration slide set, and here you can see this reuse slides option is there. Then you need to click on that, and actually previously I got a presentation, previously I used this one, right? So again I am going to let's try to remove this one first, so then you can see. So I'm going to click on this browse button, and then I'm going to click on this presentation and click on open button, right? So now here you can see the slides came from different PowerPoint presentation, and if I need this slide, so when I click on this slide, you can see it has been added to my current presentation, right? So then I can use this slide also. right? So that is how you can use the reuse slide option. You can get a particular slide from different presentation and you can use that slide inside your current presentation. Now slide library. So this feature is actually we are not going to use this feature, but I'll tell you what this really is, right? So here a slide library is a feature on a SharePoint server, right? So in Microsoft, there is a server called SharePoint, right? So what it really does, if you read these things, you can understand. So the slide library is a feature on SharePoint server that enables people to publish presentations with each slide saved as an individual file, right? So then others can reuse slides on an individual basis without having to the without having thinking about which presentation they originally came from. So they are not going to worry about the origination of the slides. So that's like a slide pool, right? So SharePoint is a server and it contains different slides, right? So those slides are actually uh, can be seen as an individual file, right? So what here you can see, these slides are not the individual files. So the file is a Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation file, if you consider a file, right? So inside that file you can see these slides, but in the Microsoft SharePoint server the story is different. So people can share their slides as individual file, right? So then others can use that slides inside their presentation, right? So that is the difference, right? So the SharePoint is a server. So remember the servers, because I talked about the servers, in the first 2 days I discussed the client server, likewise different server architectures, no? The server, the same scenario here also. The SharePoint is a server and it contains slides as a single file and others can use those files, right? So they don't need to worry about the origination of the slide. They can simply use those slides in their presentations. So because using a slide library requires access to SharePoint server that has special software installed on it for slide libraries, right? So uh, actually usually we are not going to use this kind of features in our office environment, right? But remember, there is a feature called slide library is also available. However, the step of the selecting a slide from a slide library are very similar to those for selecting from a presentation. We have selected some slides from presentation previously, right? So, and the same way we can select slides from the SharePoint server also, right? So, but usually uh, we are not going to use this kind of features, but those features are also available. Now, next thing, sections. So this is important. So to make easier to organize and format a longer presentation, you can divide that presentation into sections, right? So in Microsoft Word also we can uh, divide our document into different sections, and I discuss those things when it comes to the Microsoft Word, right? So you have seen in your books, maybe your guidebook, you can see first a few pages with Roman numbers, and after that you can see Arabic numbers, right? So different sections. And here also we can apply different sections for our presentation. So then it would be easy to organize the content, right? So to create a section in normal view or slide sorter view, that means we can use those two views to create a section. First one is normal view, this view, right? So the view I am currently using, so that is the normal view. And the slide sorter view means this option, this one, right? Slide sorter. So we can use both the views to create a section, right? So I'll tell you how to create a section. So the first thing, select the slide that you want to be first in a section, right? So if you consider a particular section, select the first slide that you need to put as the first slide of that particular section, right? So suppose here I am going to use this presentation, this one, right? So this one, right? So this is the slide that I need to put as the first slide of my section, right? So suppose this is my section 2. The first thing I need to select the slide and then go to section under the home tab, then click on that. Here you can see add section, right? So this option is available. Just click on that. Then you can see untitled section. So you can see the title of the section is untitled section. So I'm going to rename this one as section 2. Section 2. And click OK. Now here you can see this is my section 2 and this is the first slide of this section. Likewise, I can create another section. So I have selected this first slide. So again, I go to the section tab under the section button under the home tab, right? So click on this section and then add section command. Now I'm going to rename this one as first section. First section. And I am going to click on this rename button. Now you can see this is my first section and this is section 2. Actually, we can rename this one, right? Like the previous one. How should it happen? So it should be section 1, right? Section 1. I'm going to remove this part, section, and then 0, 1. Now both are similar, right? So now format is same, right? So section 1 and section 2. Suppose you can see this little arrow head, right? So when you click on that, you can expand the slides available under that section, right? For an example, here you can see this one, right? So slide the section 2, right? So here when you click on that, you can see all the available slides under the section 2. Now next thing, if you need to move this section to the to this area, right? So to this upper area, so how you can move these slides? So you need to right click on this section, that means section 2, and then you need to go to there's option called yes, that move selection up, this option. Now here you can see section 2 is here, right? So that was the top one, and you can see section 1 is the bottom one, right? So likewise, you can move particular section either upside or downside. Any problems you need to ask, any questions you need to ask, you can ask. So I discussed so many things, just like talking to myself. No problems. No questions, nothing, right? And only the number of students are also 85. I think the students really know about these things, and therefore they think we don't need this kind of things because we know, right? So maybe that's okay for you, but that's not okay for the university, right? So you need to uh, attend all the lectures, and both actually only the not only this subject, for other subjects also the same thing, right? Hmm. Reset command, yes. So I'll tell you that one. So that is a really good thing, and I'll explain this one, right? Reset command. Okay, so I need to switch to my next part here, right? So what I discussed up to this one, right? Sections, yes. So so I discussed the reset button, and give me a minute for that, because I need to discuss after I finish these things, right? So otherwise I have to create all the things. Okay, the next part, font, right? So in if you have used Microsoft Word before, so you can see this kind of menu, right? So it contains font bar, and it indicates the font type, right? So you can see here, this is the font name, right? So that we can use. And here you can see font size, and here you can see 54. And there are two buttons that you can increase and decrease the size of the font. And also you can use this little arrow to increase and decrease the size of the font, like this, right? So I'll show you this one here, right? So you can increase and decrease, right? So if I use 66 here, so then you can see the size of the font. And also you can use these two buttons to increase and decrease the font size, right? So then clear all formattings. You can use this button to format everything that you have done, right? So if you have done something, or if you have copied something from a website or something like that, and it comes with different formattings, right? So because when you copy that one, it comes with some of the formattings which is available on that area, right? So if you don't need that formattings, you can select the font, right? So I cannot do that one for this one, because this is actually nothing here, no, right? So you can click on this formatting button, right? So clear all formattings. Actually here you can see no formatting that has applied for this one, right? So if there is a formatting that has been applied for this text, right? So then once you click on this clear all formatting button, then everything becomes normal, right? So that is the clear all formatting. And then here you can see change case option, right? So change case means you can switch between capital and simple, right? So here you can see lowercase, sentence case. Sentence case means the first letter of the sentence you can see with a capital letter, and uppercase, so all the letters are capital each word. If there are two words, then you can see each and every letter means the first letter of each and every word you can see as a capital letter. And toggle case, right? So here you can see the first letter of the word as a simple letter, and the rest of the letters you can see as capital letters, right? Then italic, this one, the first we start from bold, right? So we can bold the font, and we can italic the font, and we can underline, we can what's this, right? So we can add some text shadow, and we can use strike through, right? So likewise, if you need to add this kind of things, most of the time if you are uh, going to discuss some of the things that a particular person should not do, right? So then uh, you can type and you can apply this style, that means this strike through effect. So then it would be more meaningful, right? So if you don't need that one, you need to select the text, and then again you need to click on this button, then you can remove that effect. So then character spacing, you can increase and decrease the space between characters, right? So you can see the preview also, right? So all the formattings that we need to do for a particular text can be seen under the font group, right? So everything is there. You can use these things. Next one, paragraph. So under the paragraph, you can see here, uh, this is the bullets and numbering, right? So you can add some of the bullets to your PowerPoint presentation. Most of the time, it's really we need that one, right? So I'll show you that one, and some of the other stuff also I'll show you. So here, if I use the title as input devices, so under the input device, tell me few input devices. Quickly tell me. So I'm going to create a presentation and computer about computer hardware. So now I'm going to insert, I'm going to talk about input devices. So I need to mention some of the input devices. So tell me a few input devices, 5 input devices, tell me. Quickly tell me. Okay. What is the next one? Hmm, 4. Right. So 7. It's okay. Uh, so what is the first one? Uh, Keyboard, yes. Mouse. So keyboard, then mouse. So press enter. So then so you need to put the cursor enter and then press enter. So mouse, again press enter. So what's the next answer? Again, mouse, joystick. Next one, scanners, mouse, keyboard, touchpad, printer. Printer? Can we use printer as an input device? No, right? So it's an output device. So scanner, that is okay. Touchpad, light pen, touch screen, light pen, trackball. Oh, so many answers. Microphone, so that is a different answer. Camera, so that is also important. Right. So here you can see those content. That means that this list, those are the input devices with the bullets, right? So bullets are really important. Then anyone can easily figure out what this really is, right? So here this is the list, and if you can change, this is the bullets that you have used here. If you need, you can change the style also, right? Different styles available, right? And the same thing, we can add numbers or a b c d like letters, right? So you can add numbers with different styles, you can add letters with different styles, you can add Roman numbers, different things, right? You can do, right? So if I select this option, I select this option, this one, right? So tell me the different types of mouse. How many types we are having? Different types of mouse. What are those two types? Two or more. USB, PS2 and USB, right? So PS2, PS2, and USB, right? Okay. So usually we use these two types, right? So then I have listed out those two types of mouse under the mouse, right? So how I have done that one? So I type those two types in the same level like mouse, and after that I select these two, right? So I select only these two, and here you can see indentation options, increase the level, right? So here you can see increase list level, right? So we can click on this one, then what happens, you can see it has moved to the right side, right? So it aligned, there may be some space between the first level and the next level. You can see that level space here, right? So that is the increase the list level. We can increase list level by using these two buttons, right? So we can decrease the list level or increase the list level. So these two buttons we can use for that, right? So likewise you can use these options, right? So and you can increase the space, right? So likewise you can increase the space, line spacing, and if you are having some a paragraph or something like that, then you can apply this justify option, right? So justify option I'll show you with another example, this one. So I'm going to select everything, right? I'm going to select everything. And here you can see this justify option. What happens when I click on this option, right? So now my text has been justified, right? So now you can see uh, uh, these two areas, that means left side and right side. So they are in the same level. So that justification is also really important. And also you can increase the space between text by using this option, right? Okay, so those are the important things that you need to understand under the Microsoft PowerPoint. So those are the basic things, and we have so many things to discuss. Next one. And also you need to so those another thing here, you can see text direction and align text, right? So here you can see text direction option, so that is also important. Text direction. So here you can see text direction option, right? So different directions of the same text, right? Horizontal and rotate with 270 degrees and 90 degrees, right? So different styles available here. You can use these things, right? So and you can align the text inside the text box by using these three options, and under this more option you can see multiple options available. But usually top means here you can see in the preview, right? So middle, likewise, so you can see the text in the middle, and bottom, right? So those three options are really important when you are going to create a presentation, and when you are going to add some text content, then you can use this text alignment to align your text. Okay. Now drawings. So under the drawings you can see different predefined shapes, arrows and circles and everything, right? So you can use these things and you can draw what you need, right? So and here, so if I do something for drawings, so I'll show you something. So insert shapes, right? So you need to go to insert tab, then illustrations, and it contains shapes, and it contains different shapes, right? So you can use these shapes. So I use this shape and click and drag, and then you can draw this kind of illustrations, right? So and you can change the color with these shape styles, or you can use this shape fill option, and then you can change the color, right? So and if you need, you can use this no fill option, then no colors inside this shape, right? So and different things available, right? So you can use this fill colors, more fill color option, then you can select a particular color and then click OK, right? So the next thing is outline, right? So this is the another important thing. If you need to change the color of the outline of your shape, so you need to right click on the shape, and then you can see outline option here, and then you can select which color you need for outline, right? So I select this color, right? So this one, right? So likewise you can add different colors. and you need to try out these things, right? So once you come to the university, inside the computer laboratory, I will give you time. So then you need to try out these things, right? So each and everything, if I try to explain all the things, so then it would take so many times, right? So you can, when I guide you, then you can use my guide, and then you can do things on your own way. You can apply different styles, and then you can see the preview, and then you can change, right? So you need to do these things. And also here, another important thing is you can change the weight of the outline, right? So here, these things are really important, right? You can change the weight of the outline. So now it was 4.5 pt, right? Okay, now next one. So use these things, right? So different options are available. Now this one is really important, editing. Suppose if you have typed something wrong, right? So if you have done something wrong, so then you have done the same mistake in different slides, that means multiple slides, so then you need to correct that one. So you can use this find and replace option. So actually it comes as the two things, and you can uh, use these two things as a single thing, and then you can find something and you can replace something with a particular letter or particular word. Here the first one is find, so you can use control F for find. So you can find what you need. You need to enter whatever the keyword you need to find, then click on this find next, right? So then you can see uh, I'm going to find this feature keyword, and it's available here, right? So likewise you can find whatever the keyword you need. That is find, and I'll tell you find and replace also. And replace, so the same thing you can see here. I use another presentation for that. This one, right? This one, control F, right? So here you can see replace option. So I'm going to find uh, PS2, or actually I'm going to find USB, right? So I'm going to change USB. So it should be USB mouse, right? So for an example, right? Okay, now click on this replace all button, right? So now you can see previously it was actually USB, and mistakenly I have typed another letter, so that is the reason. Control F. So this, because of this letter F that happens, right? So I'm going to remove that one. So then this one should be control C, USB. I need to add letter F here, right? Simple F, and then I need to correct it as follows: USB mouse, and then replace all, right? So that is how you can use find and replace option. Next one. These things are really easy things, but you should know these things, right? Here, and now we are going to talk about tables, right? So I'll complete up to slide 50, right? So 49, and after that I stop. So the next day I can discuss rest of the things, right? So now I have discussed up to this area. this one, editing. Now tables. So here, uh, the tables means you can set the number of columns and rows as needed, right? So then you can insert a table, right? So by using this dialog box, you can see this is a dialog box, and you can use number of columns that you need and also the number of rows you need. Or otherwise you can use this box area, and you can select how many number of columns you need, how many number of rows you need. You can uh, click this area, and then you can insert a table into your PowerPoint presentation, right? So I'll use this one, right? So I use this demonstration presentation, right? So go to insert, then go to tables. Under the tables group, right? So here you can use your mouse. Don't need to click, right? So once you over your mouse inside this box grid, you can see how many number of columns you need, how many number of rows you need. So the preview, you can see the table that we are going to draw here, right? So finally I'm going to click on this. So then what happens, then that table has been applied onto my slide, right? So this is a one method that you can create a table. And here you can see this contextual menu, table tools. Under this contextual menu, you can see different styles available, right? So you can try out these different styles, right? So likewise, you can create your table. Another way that you can use to create a table is insert table, right? So go to insert, then table, right? So insert table, this option, then you can add number of columns you need, right? So in this case it's 5 and number of rows are 2, right? So if you need, you can change it to 4 or something like that. I'm going to change it to 6 and click OK, right? So now you can see that table has been created here. Next one. So images, right? So under the images group, you can insert pictures from your computer or another computer, right? So and also you can use online pictures option, and then you can insert pictures from online sources, right? And also you can click on the screenshot button, and then you can add a screenshot of a window of your computer. And also there's option for photo album, and it creates a presentation for your favorite photo collection. Usually you should know how to insert a picture, and you can use online resources for that also, or you can use your local computer, and I'll show you how you insert a picture to PowerPoint presentation, right? So this presentation I am going to use, and I am going to add few slides, right? So this one, and I need a picture. So insert, then images. Under the images, you can see these pictures, and here you can see online pictures, and this device means local computer. And if the pictures are available, then I can use, right? So what is the picture that I can use? This one, right? So this is from my local computer, right? So you can use this picture, and also I can remove that picture, and again I go to insert picture, and then this time I am going to use online pictures, and it takes time, right? So now you can use this being image search. That means being image search is a search engine which is belongs to the uh, Microsoft company, right? So they promote their search engine by using their products. So that is the actual meaning of this option, right? Okay, now I'm going to search a particular image. Right, so this one, I'm going to select this car and click on insert. Now that picture you can see it is here, right? So that is how I got the pictures from online sources. Now next one, again I'm going to remove this picture. The next one is screenshot, right? So what happens if I click on this screenshot, you can see all the available windows, right? So I have opened 3 windows. Uh, Here this one is PowerPoint one, and this one is my file explorer window, right? So then you can see once I click on that, so screen of that window has been captured and inserted into the PowerPoint slide, right? So you can use this kind of option also. Okay, what is the next thing? Next one is images. I talked about that one. Illustration, so the shapes, and under the shapes actually I discussed how to draw shapes, and smart art also there, that is another special thing. So smart art, so that is that you can use to insert smart art graphics, and it used to visually communicate information, right? So you can use different types of flowcharts and something like that. Then charts also you can use, right? So charts, that means insert charts according to your data, right? So that is important. So I'll show you that one quickly. Go to insert. So I'm going to select this one, insert charts, and I can select this design and click OK. So it should be here. So I need to wait a little bit. So now here you can see chart and my data, right? So once I change the data and the labels, you can see the preview also, right? So if you change these categories and the values, then it would be reflected here, right? So now category 1. So if you have added some names, then you can see the illustration of those data inside this graph, right? So that is how you use graphs inside Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, last thing. Now add-ins. So add-ins means just like plugins, and it enhance. That means it enhance some of the features which is not available by default in Microsoft Excel. By using add-ins, you can add those additional features to your Microsoft Excel, like once you when you are going to use Chrome browser, you sometimes you may use extensions to download videos, right? So by default Chrome browser does not come doesn't have a feature to download videos, but you can use some extensions or add-ins to download to that means to increase the capacity of that application by using different add-ins. Then you can download YouTube videos also by using your Chrome browser once you add some add-ins or extensions to that browser. So that is additional feature that we can use by by applying some add-ins to our default application. The same thing happens in Microsoft Excel also. If there are some additional features that we need and by default it is not available, then we can use those features by using these add-ins, right? So that is also important. Next one, links. And here you can see a hyperlink and action. Really very simple two things, right? So I will tell you links and actions. So I use this presentation. So first thing I use link, right? So insert. So then link here. I'm going to use this zoom L5. No, it is not there, right? So I'm going to use this meeting chat, right? So this is a text file and I'm going to click on this OK button, right? So now it is here. So once I run my presentation, you can see this kind of link, right? And once I click on that, you can see you can open that one, right? So in this computer, I don't know whether, yes, you can see now that file, that text file, you can see here. Once I click on that link, it has been opened here, right? So uh, that is how you use link. And now I will show you quickly how to use action. So you need to go to insert and then go to shapes, and then you need to add these action buttons, right? So I'm going to add this action button here. And once I release my mouse after drawing this action button, you can see hyperlink to, right? So then you can use whatever the place you need to go. Once you click on this button, you can add a particular URL, or you can add a particular slide that you need to go. So I select first slide and click OK. So you know in first slide contains letter A, right? So now I'm going to run my presentation and I'm going to click on this button. Now you can see now I am in the first slide, right? So you can use uh, some other options. That means you can apply some URL. Then once you click on that, then the browser opens and then you can go to that particular web page, right? So such kind of things you can do. So actually I cannot explain all the things, right? So actually once I try to explain all the things, sometimes it may take more than 1 month, right? So many options are available. Next thing, so I discussed hyperlink and action. So now text box, I discussed these things later, right? So it will take some time. Now it's 1:09. Okay, I'm going to stop the session, and the next day, I think we have no live lectures anymore. I don't know up to now. I think today is the last day of the orientation program, isn't it? Tell me quickly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so even if today was the last day, so we need to continue because this is an entire course, and actually usually we start this course in the academic period. But before the academic period, I start this program because this program is lengthy, right? So because it start from the basics, and then after that I need to go for different applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and before that I should teach some of the basic things like how to use internet and what are the different input devices, output devices, such kind of things I need to explain. So therefore I start this program with the orientation. And Now, once you start your academics, then there may be some time slots in your timetable. Then you need to come to the university lab, the faculty lab, and then I'll deliver the lectures, on-site lectures. Right. So then in the meantime, you have assignments, and before the assignments, I'll inform you. Okay. So from next day, we can start from the place where we stopped today. Okay, right. So then I'm going to wind up the session, and next day I discuss the rest of the part of this PowerPoint application, and after that we can switch to the Word. Okay, so then I'm going to wind up the session. Now it's 1:11, right? Okay. So thank you, and so I'll arrange the next session, and then I'll inform you according to the timetable, right? Okay. So and the last recording and the today recording I will upload today, right? So I'm going to stop share, and from next day I start from this place. Okay. So then thanks. So I'm going to wind up this session.